This is where Greyhound bus 1170 came to a sudden stop 10 years ago. A man then known as Vince Li was attacking his seatmate, Tim McLean, stabbing, decapitating, cannibalizing. It took 5 hours for police to arrest him. This woman was on the bus. She still can't get the sound of screaming out of her head.
I thought it was just one of those scary movies.
We can't identify her or her daughter under child welfare laws. 2.5 years ago, social workers apprehended her baby. They said her PTSD made her an unfit mother.
I'm constantly waking up depressed and not getting the proper help. Cook your food.
The little girl lived in a foster home until a year ago when the court granted her grandmother guardianship and gave her mother access.
She is a phenomenal joy. She mesmerizes everybody that comes in contact with her. By her little voice and everything, she's loved by everybody.
Carol Dedeli says her son's death left a big hole in her life, but now she also sees some hope.
And it took a long time to really want to get up every day. I was given a few reasons to feel that way, to want to get up.
One of those reasons, a grandson. 5 months after Timothy McLean's death, his son was born.
I was in shock, and then scared, and then excited, and then really worried.
The mother was young, struggling to care for 2 other children by a different father. In 2016, a judge gave Dedeli permanent guardianship.
He is a gift from God sent by my son to give me a reason to get up every day and to take care of. And I'm doing that to the best of my ability.
She's still concerned about the family dynamics, so for now, doesn't want the boy's mother or her ex-husband visiting him unsupervised.
I'm okay looking through these. It's sad that we don't have any recent pictures of him. But for now, these will have to do.
It means these pictures are all Tim McLean Sr. has of his son and his grandson.
Like his father, that's what we're left with. His memories.
Still struggling to cope with the loss, he visits his son's gravesite every week.
I sit and I talk with him. I tell him everything. I just joke around about my day and how much we miss him and how sad it makes me.
Shortly after the attack, McLean Sr. launched a lawsuit against Greyhound. 10 years later, it's at an impasse.
We don't believe the settlement that they offered for our grandson is at all reasonable.
But for today, both parents want the focus to be on their son.
He was just vibrant energy, and I so miss that in my world.
He always lived his life the way he wanted to.
We just got left town of Brendan, and we're watching Zorro, and next thing I know, I hear somebody scream, and I look back, and there's some big guy holding this little fella up against, like, between the bathroom door and the seat, and he was moving. It kind of looked like a fight, but somebody said a knife, so we all run off the bus. He was getting stabbed. So I'm making sure everybody's okay right outside, and these other guys are containing the door. Then they went back on the bus and come off the bus and told everybody to get back because they thought he was coming out. His hand come out the door with the knife, looked like it was trying to cut their... He went back on the bus, and then they braced the door, and he come back. Standing in the doorway was the head, looked at him, dropped the head, went back and started cutting Buddy back up, right? So they make us leave and go up by the tractor trailer, and I'm standing by the tractor trailer, and it's starting to get dark, and the cops are there. And he comes up and he picks the head up and he's waving it in the window. I just smoked a cigarette with this man earlier, right? The head. And he's shaking it back and forth to the window, and it's really intense, right? It's sickening. And I was just making sure. I wasn't worried about myself at the time. I was just worried about everybody else being okay, right?
So you'd smoked a cigarette with the victim?
Yeah.
Tell me about him. What was he
Well,
like?
I never really took the time to get to know him, but he seemed to be okay, right? Just a kid.
Like how old would you figure?
Between 18 and 22. But he didn't look that old.
And he'd gotten on the bus in Brandon?
No, I do believe he got on in Edmonton.
Okay. And was he a quiet fella?
Well, he seemed to be all right. He liked to talk, I guess, but I really didn't take the time to get to know him in a rush, right?
What'd you talk about?
I don't know, just how the day was. I'm not really sure.
You've seen something that I don't think a handful of people in the whole world have seen. Tell me what it's like to see a man who's just killed somebody holding up
The humans...
a head.
That's disturbing. I laid down in bed tonight at about 4 o'clock, thought I'd go to sleep for an hour because I've been up just stressing, right? Making sure everybody's all right. And I closed my eyes and I seen him in the window there just like a madman. I couldn't see really what his face looked like, but he was wearing a black shirt and he was a tank, right? Holding his head up in the window like he's right in his right mind taunting the cops with it. I was like, oh yeah, really? But it was just disturbing. And there's children and old ladies, like older senior citizens and stuff that was on that bus. I'm not worried about myself. I got to worry about them, right?
And the police showed up fairly quickly?
Yeah, they were pretty quick. I'm not sure how long, 15, 20 minutes maybe, but that's quite a little hike away. That's an hour road to town. I'm not really sure how long it was, but they got there quicker than what I thought they'd be there.
What are you feeling right now? I mean, this is a few hours now, and you've had a time to get a coffee, and you can't be relaxed. But how are you feeling?
Sad for the family of the young feller. I feel sad for the people that's in here because not very many people ever see somebody be decapitated, right? Or experience what we've experienced, because we were just going home and going to a vacation or whatever, and somebody got murdered on our bus that we could have probably talked to and not know it, right? What if we sat next to him?
I was just reading a book. All of a sudden I heard a guy screaming. I turned around and the guy sitting right next beside me was standing up and stabbing another guy with a Rambo knife, pretty much. It was a big survival knife like this in the throat, repeatedly. Told everybody to get off the bus. Everybody started to get off the bus. The guy still kept stabbing him. Everybody got off the bus. Me and a trucker that had stopped and the Greyhound driver ran up to the door to maybe see if the guy was still alive or we could help or something like that. And when we all got up, we seen that the guy was cutting off the guy's head. He was cutting off the guy's head there, and he saw us. He came back to the front of the bus, told the driver to shut the door. He pressed the button and the door shut, but it didn't shut in time, and the guy was able to get his knife out and take a swipe at us, so we backed off the door, and I ran around the back side of the bus driver took off, and then we both returned to the front to see what had happened, and he hadn't gotten off the bus. The door was still open. We shut the bus door that time and shut it. It was at that point that he came, started walking to the front of the bus, and he had the head in his hand, and he just looked at us like this and dropped it on the ground, like, totally calm. The three of us had weapons from the trucker's truck there, and we just stayed outside while he tried to get out the door, telling him, "No, stay put, stay there, don't try to come out." He tried to get the bus working, and the bus driver disabled the bus somehow in the back. I'm not sure how he did it. It was at that point, I think, that the police showed up and kicked us off, got us to the end of the bus there.
How were people reacting?
Some people were puking, some people were crying, other people were in shock.
Were people running? Were they screaming?
Yeah, everybody was running, screaming off the bus. Like, when it happened, I think I was the first one to really realize what was going on, and just screamed, like, "Stop the bus, someone's getting stabbed, everybody get the hell off." The people at the front of the bus didn't really understand what was going on, so it was it almost turned into like a trample scene there, and everybody trying to get off the bus. But the guy, he didn't care at all. He wasn't concerned with anybody but the guy that he was stabbing.
What did the guy look like? Did you get a look at him?
The killer?
Yeah.
He's either Chinese or native. That's all I can say. 6 feet, 200 pounds, he's wearing sunglasses, bald head. He looked totally calm. He didn't say a word, I don't think, to anybody on the bus. I think he got out and had a cigarette with one girl. Nothing, just totally calm. The guy that he stabbed was listening to his headphones and sleeping. He didn't do anything to provoke the guy. The guy just took a knife out and stabbed him. Started stabbing him like crazy and cut his head off.
How are you feeling when you saw what was happening?
I got sick after I saw the head thing. I just wanted to help me and the driver wanted to get the guy stuck in the bus. And at that point, when we saw the head, we knew that the guy was dead, so.
Was he sitting next to him? Did it seem like they were traveling together?
Yeah, he sat right next to the guy that he killed.
Were they friends?
No, I don't think that they were at all. He didn't say anything when the guy got on the bus. I honestly don't think that the guy knew him at all. I think he was just really crazy.
So there were no words exchanged before?
Nothing.
No warning?
Nothing. No warning.
How are you feeling now?
A little tired. I'm in shock still, I guess. I still feel like maybe there was something, when that had happened, there was another kind of big guy beside me, and I told him, give me a hand, maybe we can, let's get this guy, but the other guy took off, and I wasn't, I feel really, really terrible for the guy that got killed. I mean, the poor guy, he didn't even see it coming, right? It's terrible.
Are you traveling alone?
Yes.
Where's all your stuff, all your bags and stuff?
Everybody's stuff's still on the bus. They put us here in the hotel. They just finished taking us to the police station to take all of our statements. We're still not sure how we're getting to our destination or what's going on with our luggage or what. But we're supposed to talk to a crisis unit here right now, and they got some food and drinks and the rooms for us for tonight.
Ever seen anything like this before? Ever been through anything like this before?
Nothing like that, no. I've never seen somebody decapitated.
Was he saying anything during your time?
Nothing. The guy was totally calm, and when he came and he brought the head and he looked at us and dropped the head, it was just like he was having a day at the beach. Like, he couldn't be bothered by anything else.
What did you arm yourself with? You said you found something.
The trucker had a big crowbar. I grabbed a hammer. I'm not sure what the driver had. He must have had something, otherwise he wouldn't have been there. And we were all just sitting there at the door waiting for that guy to come out.
Were you a soldier by any chance?
I was. Soldier? Yeah, I was. I was in the military for 5 years.
Reg Force, or was it?
Yeah.
What unit?
Sank RGC, but I don't want to get too far into that right now. But yeah, I was a soldier.
Sorry, you said what? You were an infantry?
I was a combat engineer.
Is that right? Yeah. You never got to Afghanistan, did you?
No.
You're kind of the hero of the story, if you don't mind me saying.
Not me. I'd say that the trucker was. Really, that guy, when he showed up, I felt so much better. When he was there with that bar, he was bigger, and at that point it was like, hey, we got this guy.
Where did he come from?
The trucker? Yeah. I believe he was driving along the road, and when we had pulled over in a hurry, everybody had ran out of the bus. He had seen people running and figured that something was going on, so he pulled over right away. And what he told me after was that somebody screamed at him that he's got a knife, he's got a knife. So he went and got that bar.
Where were you sitting when it all started?
I was sitting just in the seat in front of the killer and the victim on the window.
On the front of the bus, the middle of the bus?
It sits right at the back, right by the toilet. The killer was right in front of the toilet seat.
In the very last seat.
Yep.
Did the victim scream? Did he wake up? Did he yell?
Yeah, the victim it was a blood-curdling scream. Like that. Just reading my book, and all of a sudden I heard it. It was like something between a dog howling and a baby crying. I guess you could say it was. I don't think it'll leave me for a while. After 5 or 6 stabs, I think he must have got him in the throat because we didn't hear him anymore.